for what I know will be one of the best years in our history. First off, I want to take some time to thank you all for taking your time to be here. I know time is money to you guys. There are a lot of CEOs here of our partners in the room who manage very large businesses. And it means a lot to me personally and to my entire team and the Avaya leadership team that you would take that time and spend it with us. So I appreciate that. You know, I love that song by the Stones, right? Start Me Up, for a couple of reasons. One, that song is now 30 plus years old and it still rocks. It still gets me excited when I hear it. But even more importantly, I've been at Avaya now for slightly over a year and in the channel's leadership role for about 1 quarter. And it feels like a startup at Avaya. There's a lot of energy, a lot of passion about growth. And most importantly, I feel more excited about our opportunities moving forward than I think I ever have. We heard about PPA's message here, Paul. By the way, we call them PPAs. As soon as your name goes past 15 characters, you can abbreviate that. He talked about the journey we've been on. And clearly, we recognize that it has been a journey. And it's been, in some cases, struggles for us and in some cases for you. But I think we have turned a new corner, and I think we're really looking forward to some exciting new developments as we move forward. So I'm going to keep it very simple this morning. I'm going to talk about 3 specific things. First, we're going to look at FY13 in review. It was a great year by all accounts, but there's some really amazing facts that I want to highlight. They're going to talk about, I think, what's really important, which is what is Avaya and the people in my organization committed to doing for you, our partners, to help you grow. And then my ask is going to be that you understand where our priorities are and how we can mutually focus and align to grow together. So 3 very simple things, and I hope you leave here at the end of this with the same passion that we feel for the business and the same focus and energy on where the opportunities are. Now, FY13 was a very interesting year. It was a year of challenges. It was a year of a lot of change, as you can see from the leadership group. The majority of the people now who are leading all the key functions that touch sales here are net new to Avaya, and that brings with it a lot of energy and passion. The growth was also an important part to highlight. We closed off with an amazing Q4, which also wrapped up 2 consecutive quarters of growth. I know we're still sensitive to the numbers, we can't talk about them, but when they are announced next week, I think you'll be as impressed as we were. And obviously that came from the effort and the energy with the partners here in the room. So our Americas partners as a whole grew at 4% second half of FY13 over second half of FY12. Americas international partners grew at 7% in September alone, and US partners at 13% year over year in September. So talk about a close, getting back to double-digit growth again. So we have the momentum going into this fiscal year, and I think there's other points to make here. So even more importantly, growth obviously is key, but where we grew and how we grew, for me, is an even bigger takeaway. You can look across this slide and see some of the numbers here. That doesn't look like Avaya, does it? You haven't seen those triple-digit growths here for a while, but these are all our strategic products and ones that we collectively have started to put more energy and focus on. They are the future of Avaya, and they're the future of your businesses. And the more you embrace these, the more you're going to enjoy in the growth that we've been enjoying. So overall, across the Americas, we've had a 58% growth in these products in Q4 alone. Again, that type of trend we want to have continue, and we need to drive continually hard. Some of the highlights, our SME product line grew at 76% year over year. So that's IP Office in the mid-market you'll be hearing over and over again. Our UC apps business at 127%, and completely blowing the doors off of it in video at 445%. So some of these are small numbers, but our IP Office and SME business is now approaching a $200 million run rate. So we're not talking about things that are immaterial to our overall business. And just to think about the services drive that can happen with us as well. And the best news of all is the partners in this room grew faster than the numbers that are posted up on this slide. So this is a demonstration of your commitment to us, and we're glad to see we're aligning here But as you'll hear later on, we have just scratched the surface. We have a lot more opportunity ahead of us, and we have to keep our foot down to the pedal here. Now there's another important factor that I want to highlight as well, and this is a slide that Pierre-Paul actually showed in his presentation. But there are a couple of things I want to point out here. So first of all, this green line, that's you guys. This is by all accounts outstanding. To have a Net Promoter Score, which is a value that we use, a lot of other companies use it as well, to measure customer loyalty and the referral behavior. The higher the number, the more likely that customer is not only going to continue to buy from you, but they're going to promote you to their other contacts in the industry. And I've heard from time and time again from partners, referrals are your best source of leads. So keeping our customers happy that we do have is going to be an easy way to grow the business. So it is a leading indicator for us. But what's most amazing here is 50 is considered by industry experts as truly excellent. It defines the term excellence. For you partners, you share that position with one other company that's pretty notable in the industry, and that's Apple Computers. They have a cult following, and their score is just in the 50s as well. So you should be very proud of the work you're doing there. But there's another point that I want to highlight on this chart, and that's this blue line, which is the combination of satisfaction between ourselves when we partner with each other, with Avaya and us together in a customer. It's the fastest growing score in our Net Promoter Score systems. In fact, it increased by 50% in 1 year. That's a testament to the fact that we're starting to work together, and that when we work together, we will delight our customers. They will buy more, they will refer us more. So we have to keep that up. If we can grow that by another 50% yet again, we'll achieve our overall goals, but I know that the business will come along as a result of this as well. So let's keep that focus and the energy on working together, and you'll hear more about it. So I really want to take the opportunity in every possible way, and in every language in the room here today, to thank you for your performance, your partnership, and most of all, your commitment to Avaya and the customers we mutually serve. So I'd like all the Avaya people to give our partners just a huge round of applause. All right, thank you very much. So, you know what, FY13, it was a great year. It's behind us now. It's history. I think the last we'll hear of it will be the earnings announcement, and we're moving on. In fact, we're already in FY14, but we are aware that we're in the end of your fiscal year. For a lot of you people in the room, this is your Q4. We want to help you make your Q4, which is going to help us make our Q1. A lot of things have popped up through the course of the year, and we really have to reflect back on what we did both well and where we need to improve. So I want to take a few minutes to talk about that. You know, the quality siege and the quality challenges we have, I think, are now firmly behind that. And the feedback we got through your partner SAT survey is we finally reached a state of steady state in terms of product quality. Jerry Burbaki on our side has done a terrific job, and we've made sure we've corrected the root causes of some of the problems, and we brought our product back up to the standards that you and your customers have grown to expect over the years. I'm pleased to hear that you value the CAM support, the channel account managers. This obviously is an area that's very important to me. Pierre-Paul will continue to invest in my organization when it's driving value. And the more value you see, and the more you let us know, the more we can continue to invest in it. We're doing a better job in terms of sales and design training. I personally think we have more room to grow. And with the addition of Ali Karani on the systems engineering side and Bob Johnson on the specialists, we're going to put more resources in front of you that can help you in more technical and complex design areas. And our distributors are doing a terrific job. They really add more value than any other distributor I've seen in the industry, and we're very proud to have them as business partners. And with the leadership of Chris Jones, who's just joined us, we expect to take their capabilities to new and more exciting heights. But we still have challenges. We still have work to do. Right now, our billing and our collections and our services renewals are problematic. I'll talk about this a little bit more, but I fully appreciate what I call the cost of complexity. It isn't really just about the time that it takes you to process all of this stuff. It's about the opportunity cost, from my mind. When you're processing paperwork, you're not in front of customers selling. And I know that we're probably today losing business because we cannot solve a lot of these issues in a very quick hurry. So the entire team is committed to making these changes. I'll talk about what we've done so far, but we still have work to do. And I know a lot of it is wrapped up in services. It's a big part of our business, at about 50%. And I know in your cases, it's somewhat even larger. So that's going to be one of the primary areas we focus on. So we have improvements, we're making progress, we've got work to do, but these will be areas that you'll see us make market increases in this fiscal year. Now, Pierre-Paul talked a lot about our journey, and as I said, there have been some rough roads along the way. But just like the Stones, we have staying power and we have relevance. And I think we are personally at an inflection point, and for a couple of reasons. First of all, we're not the same company we were even 10 years ago. Today, 2/3 of our revenues are derived from software, and that will grow even more with virtualization and the services to support those systems. Completely different way of operating as a software company than as a hardware company where we had very large metal cabinets sitting inside of telecom rooms. And that's going to change our business strategy, it's going to change our go-to-market strategy. But we've also very pleased to see, and obviously before my time, the continued progress towards making more of our business flow through our channel partners, and to great effect. Right now, 79% of our business flows through people like you in the room, and we want to continue to invest there. You heard from Pierre-Paul, you'll hear from Kevin time and time again. We're very committed to our channel, and this is a continued part of our strategy. But there are some industry dynamics occurring as well that we want to be very, very focused on, and we need to be focused on them collectively. There is a shift happening from CapEx to OpEx. Cloud is a big driver of it, but it's not all the cloud that we think, where they just rent services per seat per month. In fact, one of our offerings, the AOS or Avaya Operational Services businesses, where we do managed services for our customers, is growing at such a rapid pace under the leadership of Joe Manuel that we actually had more big deals of $10 million or more in the OpEx side of the world versus the CapEx. And that's the first time that's happened. It's a trend that we expect to continue. And for customers looking for alternative solutions, this is one that I think we need to be very aggressive in terms of offering. You heard Pierre-Paul talk about market segmentation, again, critical to our success. We drive most of our business from a very small set of customers, governments, banks, insurance companies. It's imperative that we look at all markets now, from globals to enterprise to mid-market and to SMB. Every one of these has its own unique play, and the more we think customer first, as Pierre-Paul said, the more we're going to succeed in these markets. And as a result of all of these, our services platform will evolve. I'm very committed to making sure that services are profitable for you, and we have to move with the industry or we'll get caught and left behind. And the best way to grow our services business is to grow our product and our solutions offering. Because you can't sell services if we don't own the infrastructure and we've handed it to one of our competitors. So I believe we are at this transition point. I think we are the new Avaya. I think we've got great opportunity ahead of us. So let's talk a little about what we're going to do to achieve it. First of all, we've got to recognize where the spend is. And the question that I would ask all of yourselves, as we've asked ourselves in the past, are we focused on the growing or the declining market? Our industry, in terms of voice communications and call center technologies, has been disaggregating now for over a decade. The value has moved up the stack. It's moved into the software spaces. And ultimately, it's changed the industry as we know it. I don't have to say to the people in this room, but our enterprise customers are sweating their assets. They're sitting on these technologies and not investing in them for some very significant reasons. One, as Pierre-Paul said again, it's a butts and seats business. As companies work to be more operationally efficient, they reduce their number of endpoints. That's going to drive our business down. But the good news is there are other markets that have been created along the way, and these are ones that we need to focus in on. So as you can see, the items here in the green, from SME to business analytics, security, speech analytics, video, are all opportunities that we can sell above and beyond the infrastructures that we own today. Again, we're 40+% market share in contact center, regained #1 position in enterprise telephony. That is our license to go and sell more to these customers, but we've got to sell them things that have business value and that can ultimately drive purchasing within those companies. So we have to grow to where the market's growing. But I will also say, on a global scale, I believe we've left the long-standing stint of not spending money on IT. Companies are returning back. And as you can see here from the stats, we're going to have our best year in 3 years in terms of IT spend in the specific areas that Avaya and our business partners serve. So the market is opening itself up to the opportunities for us. And where are we seeing the growth? I talked about it before. Video, through RadVision, 3,000% overall growth as an overall company level. We're not doing as well as we need to in some parts of the theaters, but we're exploding like crazy in others. Our collaboration platform, obviously new technology that will revolutionize how we provide unified and contact center communications. And IT Office, again, now a $200 million run rate business, growing at 13% a year. So we're seeing the successes, and this is again being driven by the efforts from the folks like you, but there's more to be had here. And I think we can see double and triple digit growth in these for multiple years to come. So in order for you to grow, I will make a commitment that I will address these 5 subjects. To me, these are critical, they're mandatory, and they're essential to ensuring that you can run profitable businesses based on the Avaya product solution sets. I'll go through each of these in more detail, but real quickly in summary, we have to align with the new segments and selling motions that we put in place. We made a big investment here, and that investment will not pay off if we can't align with you. Mid-market, again, you're going to hear it a lot. It's a tremendous opportunity, and we've got some very solid plans to pursue it and take share. I want to make sure that the incentives that we put in place are driving outcomes for both of us. They're going to increase in size, but they're going to be more aligned with growth. Where we can grow, where I can invest, and that correlation is going to be very strong. Talked about services. We want to have a tight alignment with both our cloud opportunity and some new offerings we have that we could be much more engaged around. And last but not least, our ease of doing business. Again, you've heard from us time and time again, we recognize we have a challenge here. We just simply haven't kept pace with our competitors in making it easier to do business. We'll fix that. So these 5 things are my top priority. They're my commitment for me to you that we will get these things done this year. So let's start looking at some of these. So this, if you will, is the roadmap of what our sales organization is going to look like. We are really looking at focusing on customer first. We're breaking into what is essentially 3 market segments. At the very top are global accounts. Within each theater, we have a global account leader who will focus on that very small and select set of customers who have very complex businesses. They transact on a global basis, and they need very specific attention and care and feeding to accomplish that. Below that, our enterprise market. And I want to make sure we're very clear on this one point. By no means are we giving up or exiting the enterprise space. In fact, we think we have huge opportunities here, but it's not going to be in the products that we've sold that got us to where we are today. It's going to be in the strategic product categories that I mentioned earlier. And to do that, we've really got to recognize that we need to look at enterprises from a different way. We've got our major accounts and strategic accounts that we have today that we're working with. Strategic, we've got great relationships. They tend to buy a lot of the Avaya product. But in our major accounts, they perhaps are only UC or CC customers, and we need to go pursue them. And in acquisition accounts, by no means do we have full coverage in the enterprise space. So with more efficiencies, more alignment, we are going to be knocking on more enterprise customer doors, and we want to do that in close collaboration with you. The majority of our enterprise business, again, today flows through your businesses, and you'd be a great asset to work collaboratively with. Below that enterprise market, and it'll change the definition by the various theaters and countries. For the US, where the line will be, where we have named accounts, will be somewhere in the 5,000 and above range. In those two areas, we're going to pursue and attack those market opportunities with named account managers. They're going to have dedicated fixed lists. You'll be able to look up who an account manager is on a specific customer and pick up a phone and call them and start working with them. And if that doesn't work, my channel account team will make sure it is. Below that on the commercial space, and again, it'll change depending on country, could in some cases be as low as perhaps 2,000 people, where ironically the new IP office station or endpoint count is. It's a perfect fit for that market, and we can take it all the way into the full commercial marketplace. And we're really looking at solutions here for both the sort of 500 and above and the 500 and below in the SMB market, where again, different feature sets are required. So you'll hear more from Mark Monday on how IP Office is a perfect solution for this market because it adapts to the customer's needs and is priced aggressively for those unique customer sets there. Our territory account managers will be focused on this. They do not own accounts directly anymore. They own territories, and they understand that the channel is a force multiplier. The territory account managers that don't work with partners are not going to succeed, and that's going to be a fact that they'll soon begin to realize as they look towards aggressive growth here. So overall, this is going to make our life easier in terms of aligning. It's going to be a little more complex in terms of who you got to meet with, but once you have established those relationships, you're going to find a more focused and more energized attack on the market. And we look forward to doing this with you guys. Now, mid-market, it's really the main reason behind the segmentation. We were just trying to take enterprise solutions, move them down market, use enterprise selling techniques, and move them down market. And quite honestly, we've given a lot of that market to our competitors. We just haven't shown that. For all of the partners here who have Nortel background and legacy, this is a market you guys own, and we haven't done a whole lot to capture. We want to re-engage here, and we want to go after this market with a passion. So of the $61 billion of market opportunity, and literally the millions and millions of customers, we penetrate less than 5% of them with the coverage model that we left FY13 with. We want to see that go up tenfold. We want to be in and around 50% of the market, either through Mark Wilson's marketing programs or distribution partners using smaller partners to pursue the very smallest of customers, the sort of 20 to 50. Coverage is important here, and the more we can expand our coverage, the more opportunity we're going to pick up, and ultimately partners like you guys will be able to fulfill against. So what's the investment we are making here? Well, we've added 150 new territory account managers around the globe. That'll bring the total into the market served by this room, so Canada, Central and Latin America, and the US, to over 125 territory account managers. That's a growth in terms of about a 3x in terms of what we had before. So we are making the investment on our side. I know that we have the potential to grow at 50% year over year. That's our target. That's where we want to get to. But we can't do it without you. And I know there are multiple partners who I had the benefit of chatting with who've made this shift with us as well. They've invested and built up separate sales forces to pursue commercial. And when they made those investments, they paid off. We're expecting our investment's going to pay off, and I know yours will as well if you follow us. Now, I talked about incentives as well, and again, also some great news here. The incentives are going to increase pretty substantially, so I'm adding 50% more to the budget to drive these incentives. But there's really two words that I want to drive here. One is simplicity. We've had too many. When I first arrived into the channels role, we had 22 moving from that large number down to 9. And I'd like to get it to 3 incentive programs so you, at a very quick glance, can understand where you are in terms of your financial performance with Avaya and how much money you're getting back to obviously boost your profit margins with us. And the other is impactful. I want these to be meaningful. And to that reason, all of the incentives are going to be focused on growth, but they're going to be significant. When you grow, and in specific areas of interest to us, you will be handsomely rewarded. And that's a commitment I'll make to you, and we will hold through these. We're not going to have the on one quarter, off another quarter. The 3 programs that we're looking at launching, and Barrett will cover in more detail during his section, are going to have longevity. They're going to live and stand the test of time. But the way that I fund these is through growth, so we have to be focused there. There is also another point to be made here, which is the highest investment I'm making is on the services side. So our services will increase by 3-fold the amount of money that we allocate towards service rebates. We believe we have a huge opportunity here. Customers that are not maintained will defect from us at some point in time. That's a given. That's a fact. We have to renew them. We have to attach service at the point of product sale. And if we can move those 2 levers for us, we can ultimately grow the business. And I want to make sure our incentives are aligned to that. So again, Barrett's going to cover more of these in detail. Provide us the feedback. If these things are not working for you, if they're too hard to achieve or just not realistic, let us know. I want to find the right balance between driving the right energy and the right motivation and growth, but also rewarding you for your efforts. Now, I talked about services, and again, I've been in and around the channel now for 25 plus years, and I'll say first and foremost, I understand the significance of a services channel strategy, and that's the main reason we brought Chris Thomas on board to help us craft our path forward. If we don't have a way for you to make money servicing our solutions, we don't have a channel. And I beat the drum beat on that all of the time, and I've got our senior management team aligned with that. I know we've had a lot of discussions in the past about where we might go with one potential service direction or another. We're paused right now. We're thinking it through. I've got someone who's done this before and who knows what great looks like. And working very closely with the leaders in the room here and our channel partners, we will craft a winning channel services strategy that we can bank our businesses on. So one of my top priorities here as well isn't just the strategy and the model, but it is the ease of doing business. I think if there was one area I wanted to improve moving forward, it's in how we transact our services technology today. It is complicated, it's fraught with errors, it leaves customers very dissatisfied and not always upbeat on Avaya. So this is a big priority for me, and again, something that Chris will be happy with as we move forward. But expect to see major progress on this, not within quarters, but within months and weeks. Now, ease of doing business, I chatted about this as well, and again, save this one for last, but by no means least. We know we have serious process complexity, and I think really it's been a function of 2 things, and understanding why that's there is half of the battle of getting it solved. We have not evolved. We've got a new CIO right now, Fari Ebrahim, who is very passionate about looking at all the business processes. He's taking our back office environments and turning them upside down and using the latest and greatest industry solutions for driving more ease of business. And I have full confidence in him in getting the job done. He wants to chat with channel partners, and I'm sure he's probably already had discussions with a number of you, but he wants to understand where the pain points are and what competitive offerings have looked like that perhaps have made it easier to do business with those people. There is a cost of complexity. Again, there's a hard dollar figure here. This isn't a nice to do. We lose money when we don't fix this, and we now have a true and solid appreciation of that. Now, we did make progress here. So one source and the Avaya pricing model have now been launched in almost all markets with the exception of the people in this room. There were some growing pains. It wasn't easy to take 5 different quoting systems that you had all done integration with over the years and tie them all back into one. But the universal response after the implementation's been done, after the growing pains have been felt, is this is a good positive step. So we've been able to integrate everything into one single partner portal for quoting and ordering product. We'll roll that out in the US in January. As many of you know, we delayed that decision specifically to let you close your fiscal year ends. And I'm glad we did that, but we need your commitment to move very quickly right now in embracing this move and leveraging it for the power that it possesses in long-term ease of doing business improvements. So this is where we will continue to invest. And again, I trust that we'll be very effective in getting this done, but we need your support to make that happen. So those are the 5 things that I would commit to you that we will get done this year to make it easier to do business with Avaya. So what can you expect as an overall? More engagement from us. You're going to see us more frequently. and you're going to see the engagements being more impactful. We're not going to have the how are you doing, is everything going okay meetings as much as we've got a plan to go out and grow. Do you want to come and join us? And I'm holding my team accountable for doing that. You're going to see increased AM engagement at both the enterprise side as well as the commercial side. We saw the stat earlier. When we work together, our partners are happier, and they'll buy more, and they'll refer more. So we've got to see this level of increased engagement. And again, no fear of us taking business directly. If that happens, call me. Put me on your speed dial. I want to know that. There's always a partner play in everything we do, and I want to make sure our teams understand that, and they got that message loud and clear at our global sales meeting last week. Custom incentive programs. We're going to be done with kind of cookie cutters and move more towards sitting down, deciding how we are going to grow the business this year, mapping those figures out into an incentive plan, and then executing against it to achieve those goals. And I'll commit again that we will do these in the best interest of both parties. And those growth plans are going to be the key drivers to doing that. And every one of the partners in this room will have a named channel account manager to support you in that effort and that endeavor. And then we're going to sit back and we'll look at how well we did. And we're not going to complain. We're going to look for areas of improvement and get better. Because constant improvement is the name of the game in winning in this space. So this is what you can expect from us this year. Now, I mentioned the word growth plans, and this is one saying I just absolutely love, which is, if you don't know where you're going, any road will take you there. And it's felt like that at times, that we just kept pursuing the same paths or throwing, spraying, pray at everything we could. We have a very specific set of targets right now. And to me, the real benefit of planning, just as these great military leaders experienced, is not the writing things down and typing them into Excel spreadsheets and then filing them away where no one will ever look at them. It's the exercise itself. It's the sitting down. It's the exploring. It's the challenging each other, disagreeing, but collectively making a decision on how we can be collectively more strong. And that is an exercise that I have a lot of passion over. I'm holding my team accountable, Carl, Santiago, and Miles, to getting that done. And if we can get that done, growth will be a byproduct of it. So expect a lot more of this. So that's what I'm committing to you. Now, what's my ask of you? Again, we're going to try to keep it focused. We're not going to try to go after every single piece of opportunity out there. We believe that we can execute on these 4 opportunities, we can grow the business at double digits. And if we can grow at double, you guys can grow even faster than that. So the 4 opportunities, the mid-market and SMB, new product acceleration, those strategic products, services growth, and cloud. We believe these are the biggest needle movers, and if we can move the dial on these, they will have upside for us and for you. Now again, mid-market. So is anyone getting tired of me talking about mid-market yet? I hope not. It is absolutely a huge opportunity for us. And again, I mentioned earlier, less than 5% coverage. You cannot win if you don't show up. Some of the partners here, again, have made the transition and talk to each other tonight at the dinner, talk to each other through the other events, share your successes. Where the companies have made investments, the growth has been there. Our competitors are struggling in this space. We have an opportunity to take share, but only if we want to go and pursue it and aggressively go after it. One of the key areas here that I use as a benchmark in terms of whether I'm moving the needle is how many partners we've got committed here. So the SME Expert program is the cornerstone. It's the foundation for our mid-market coverage. And quite frankly, the numbers have been disappointing. You can see them here. 115 in the US, 15 in Canada, and 15 across all Central and Latin America. We cannot cover a market with less than 200 partners in this space when we have millions of businesses that want to buy the technologies and the services that we sell. To incent people to get here, we've created a promotion just for this group of participants called S3I, or the SME Sales Solution Incentive. So when you bundle networking, video, UC apps, and security with your IP office sale, you can increase your profits to the tune of an additional 14% rebate against that purchase price. It's a lot of money. It's a lot of additional profit if you can engage in this market and sell the full solution suite. The customers are asking for it. We just don't have the coverage to deliver it to them. The other part that I'll leave us with here is we've learned a lot about recruiting partners, onboarding them, getting us through the testing and accreditation process, and then we've disappeared. We haven't shown up. Activity drives results. Pierre Paul talked about it earlier. Don't confuse activity with results. But I'll stay here on the stage and tell you you can't get results without the activity. So leveraging our marketing programs, leveraging the demand generation activities we have, they're essential to growing this business, and we have to make this a priority. Now, services, two key priorities here. I talked about it. The growth rate in terms of attach, key. And then growth rate, obviously, and maintaining our renewal rates. These are so critical to us that we, again, will incent very heavily to making these happen. But even more importantly, I think we have additional opportunities here that aren't being tapped into. So I mentioned the Avaya Operational Services, AOS. For customers today that are looking at alternatives to operating and managing the infrastructure they have, and I know those discussions are happening because you've shared them with me, the AOS offer to go in and manage that for them is an offer that you could resell through customers today if you don't want to build out your own practice. Again, there's money there to be had with Joe Manuel and team. We've worked through a complete channel-friendly model, pay margins on it and make it worthwhile for you to pursue this, and most importantly, we both retain the customer. And so that's obviously something that I'd like to see us increase in terms of size. We're putting the final touches on a program that I think you're going to find very exciting. We're all very aware of the fact we have a large installed base of unmanaged, unsupported customers. Shame on us. We're going to lose those people at some point in time. So we want to re-engage. We also have a set of customers who are supported with unauthorized managed providers. Those individuals who've not invested in learning how to support the customer in the most optimal way, and who, quite frankly, aren't paying for the service. We want to give that business and drive that business to you, our loyal partners, and we're going to create incentives to help you go pursue it and reward you handsomely for bringing those customers back into the Avaya fold, back into this elite channel group of partners, and back into a service infrastructure that we can help to solve their business challenges. On the new product side, obviously there's been some significant investment. In fact, $2.6 billion of R&D has gone into delivering over 100 new significant products in FY13 alone. We're really covering the basis of everything our customers are looking for in terms of collaboration and contact center. Everything from IP Office 9.0, which is now virtualized and opens up brand new avenues and doors into markets we never had before. One of the most flexible systems that can be deployed, everything from a on-prem to a server-only, to a virtualized, to a full 100% cloud offering, all with the same single platform. That's unmarked in the rest of the industry. We have an opportunity here. But we have other products as well that we're keeping great secrets. We just launched a new Avaya messaging service, a capability that lets you tie SMS messaging into your desktop phones and desktop applications and BYOD devices. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. It's one of the coolest things, and it's one of those sales that you close by simply showing it to a customer. We launched an outbound contact center product. Again, we've kept it a big secret. Not a lot of partners are selling or supporting it today. Huge opportunities for outbound dialing, significant in places like the K-12 education, where we need to do emergency dial-outs to parents. So a lot of very unique cases and interesting applications. IT Navigator, an acquisition that we just completed a few short weeks ago, will provide the industry-leading management capability for our Aura platform, and we expect to take that and expand it further into the market. If you're not using IT Navigator today to measure your customers' networks or manage them, look into it. It's a very powerful solution, and it has dollars attached to it. It can generate upside dollars for you in managing your customer bases. So we really need to be thinking in these product areas about going very wide and very deep. sell on top of the products and the infrastructure we spent the better parts of our careers building here, and capture that incremental revenue with these new products. And again, do not leave money on the table. The products listed on the slide is where we're going to focus our incentive dollars. So the more you do of this, the more profitable you will become. Now, one of the things I wanted to share with you here is Mark Wilson mentioned Enzo Signori. I don't know if he's in the room here right now, but he's got a session dedicated to competitive. Key here is we have some amazing sound bites on how cool our technology is and how customers immediately respond with, I need to buy some of that right away. But we keep these, again, pretty secretive, and we haven't been very aggressive in getting them out yet. So I just wanted to share a couple of here with you quickly and have these committed to your team brain so that when they're talking to customers, these roll off their tongues. 32% lower TCO over ShoreTel for our IP Office solutions. The Scopia RadVision solution deploys 7 times faster than a Polycom BYOD device, and oh, you don't have to reboot your PC. We're twice the user capacity of the Cisco BE6000, and now that they've killed their UC500, UC300, killed the BE3000, they have one product that goes from 0 to 1,000. It's a one-size-fits-all that doesn't fit. It doesn't scale high enough, and it doesn't have the feature set that smaller SMBs are looking for. Data networking. Significant advantages here over the competition. As you heard, Sochi is going to run on Avaya shortest path bridging infrastructure. We're going to deploy that with a fraction of the resources and a fraction of the time. But today, we can recover network outages 50 times faster than our competitor. When you're moving data and video that's critical through your infrastructure, 50% faster is a big deal. Milliseconds versus seconds. But we also can scale much faster. We can be 100 times faster in some comparative top-of-rack opportunities. So again, we will make sure that we are sharing these sound bites and what we consider to be industry share gainers with you and your teams. Enzo Signori's group has done a tremendous job today with ShoreTel. Our next priorities are Microsoft and Cisco, but we're going to continue to add. So never lose a deal alone. If you're up against these competitors, make sure you're engaging the war rooms because they can help you win business. And then finally, the opportunity that I think we've all been talking about, been hearing about for a while, cloud. I think it's safe to say it's here now. I've heard from a number of partners that they're starting to lose business to our cloud competitors. And the first thing I want to say is we are open for business today with Avaya Aura and IP Office both being virtualized, both being packaged in per seat, per month pricing offerings. We can combine those products with other assets you have, whether they be data center, management, and OSS and BSS offerings to launch your own cloud services. A lot of customers may not want to go completely to the public cloud offerings right away. They want to enter into this market slowly, so they're going to build out private clouds. Reselling our AOS, letting us manage that customer's infrastructure all the way through to taking an assets on books transaction is a way to maintain a relationship with that customer and drive revenue for you in what otherwise might be a stagnant and an at-risk customer base. The other area that we will be focused on is creating public offerings. Joe will be working, you heard Pierre Paul talk about it, we're re-engaging back with service providers, but that's not the right fit for everyone. So Avaya, and in combination with our distribution partners, will be bringing out service offerings that you can resell into the market if you decide to not go down the path of building your own. The key here is, I think, the time is of the essence. We know today we have competitors attacking our base with cloud offerings. There should be no reason we have to walk away from any business. We have offerings today, whether it be private or public, that we can take into this market. So let's not lose here. Let's make sure we're leveraging our full capabilities. So let me kind of do a recap on everything that's new for FY14. And there is a lot new, and there's more to do. You'll hear from Barrett around our overall Avaya Connect program. We are on a path to move from volume to value. We want to reward you as you invest in more of these strategic technologies and ensure that you're being financially compensated for your investments you're making in us. and I'll commit to that. So he's going to cover a lot of these off, from the new cloud designations we're going to be bringing out, the new incentive programs. On the channel development side, Eileen Corrigan and Michelle Jones on my team are dedicated to making you, through our channel account managers, more successful. They're going to be the real quarterback on the planning process, providing you with the tools and the analytics to show you where the market opportunities are, where we have coverage gaps, and where you can go and invest for growth. They'll also be driving the QBR process. And again, my commitment is I don't want to go through an exercise where we don't leave with some activity to improve our business and grow together. And finally, on marketing, Patty Moran, who I know you all know very well, recognized as one of the industry's leading channel marketing experts, has some tremendous programs and working with Roberto, assets that we're simply not taking advantage of. We had 3,000 assets or marketing programs downloaded last year. That should be 30,000. We created over 6,000 leads with the customized Market Leaders program. That should be 60,000 leads. We can't do this without you. We've made this investment on the marketing side. It's up to you, through the use of the MDF pool that is increasing in size, to take advantage of these opportunities. Marketing and activity will generate leads, and they'll generate business and profits for us. So we'll provide you all the help we can through these three efforts to grow, but we're dependent on you to make it happen. So I'm excited about this year, and I trust you are, and I trust you see the same opportunities we do as well. We ended FY13 strong. We have momentum. I want to make sure you end your year strong, and you can carry some momentum into the next calendar year. FY14 is a game-changer year for us. It has been developing for a while on the product side. Go-to-market is the last area of key focus. I think with Per Paul's leadership, with the phenomenal management team we have in place, and with the partners, the loyalty, and the commitment we have from you, I personally think we can make this our best year ever. So I want to thank you again for being our partners. I want you to have a fantastic year and enjoy the rest of the conference, and I look forward to chatting with you all later.
That was very, very good. Thank you very much. Great up here, Paul. Richard, really good. So before we go into the break, just wanted to remind you of something. We're going to go now into the Solutions Expo area. And we have something very, very cool to put together. This is called a token, which is it's a device that most of you should have received when you register. This will allow you to not only, when you sign up, you can utilize the token and basically exchange your business contact information with each other. So by just simply putting the tokens together, that will transfer the contact information between all of you. And then what it will also do is allow you to go into the expo area, and as you're approaching the expo area, if you want to get any information from any of the booths, simply approach the token directly into the booth, and it will send you directly the PDF and information that you have, so you can have it and take it home with you. So this is something that we put together. I want to thank the guys from ScanSource Catalyst for being responsible for this little trinket. It was really cool, so just make sure that you use it. Okay? Then I also wanted to remind you, we have presence, as you have already seen, as part of the quiz. We have presence of both media and analyst folks in the room today. So you can definitely count that what happens in Cancun will not stay in Cancun. So again, so let's go for a break. We'll be back in 20 minutes. Please enjoy the expo area, and we'll be back in about 20. Thank you very much, guys.